Oh, they're already off.
Hey, and we are underway already. Boom, these guys are flying. Round 7. Both players are 6-0. Chris Calcano on your left. Jelger Wiegersma on your right. Jelger, of course, a member of the Hall of Fame. Calcano, perhaps one of the most persistent players on the Pro Tour right now. Really trying to get through to that next level. He needs 3 points between now. Not even 3 points. He needs probably I got to check the total.
Yeah.
1 point, I think, to get the
one
3
extra
points.
point.
One extra point
right.
between now and Portland to get to gold for next year. Wow, there's a Thassa.
That's one of those cards I feel like people are really impressed when it hits play or scared or whatever, but it's much better in a mono blue devotion deck in standard than it is in limited. It's good. It's cheap. It lets you scry every turn. But it's not a bomb in limited.
Right.
It's not going to be on that often. It's mostly just an enchantment that lets you scry every turn or pay 2 to give a guy unblockable, which is good, but not exciting, as you can see here with Calcano going 2-drop, 3-drop.
Right. Spire Spine followed by
Sword by Centaur. And
following Sword by Centaur.
And Jelger was on the play in this game. Imagine if Calc was on the play. Jelger would already be pretty much dead because his 3-drop doesn't attack or block. Now it's going to be a close game because Jelger was on the play, and if Calc has like a Grip Tide or, a removal spell and can keep the pressure going, it might be enough.
It looks like he might have a Hubris in hand. Green-blue, one of the preferred color combinations.
Yeah, and you're probably not going to Hubris here because the Emissary just has to trade. So as long as he has a guy to drop, it's not going to make sense to Hubris. You're just going to let the trade happen, or he has a trick, a pump spell to keep his guy alive, sure.
Yep.
And then deploy more stuff. Generally, you want to...
Crypsis gives his guy protection from his opponent's creatures.
Right. Well, you can bounce anything. So generally, you want to use your pump spell or your Crypsis here, and then save Hubris in case Jelger plays a bigger guy that you can't, just attack into. He may also use it to save his guys from removal. Hubris is a much more flexible card.
So red-blue, how do you feel about red-blue and sealed?
I'm not expecting...
It never feels like where you want to be, right?
Right, I'm not expecting to, but you don't get to choose the cards you open in sealed. So if you don't open black removal, if you open red removal, and if your blue is good, you don't... People always want to have plans and stuff, but Magic's not really about having a plan. It's a lot more about letting the games and the cards dictate, where you go.
There's a flurry of horns.
That's a card I like in sealed.
Yeah. He gets to actually eat a Spire Spine because the Spire Spine is obligated to block here, right?
Yeah, and the reason I like that card so much is because it makes 2 different guys. So it's really good against removal and things like that.
Yeah.
Let's see if Jelger sees it. You're right. He should certainly attack for...
He doesn't attack.
Yeah, because he's thinking he's on the defensive, but it would have forced a trade, and that's a good trade. Because
he can just send the 1 in, and he would have to eat the Spire Spine.
Right, and that would be a good trade because Calc had half his mana tapped. And what if Calc would have untapped and put a Nimbus Naiad on Spire Spine or something like that?
Oh,
wow. And there you go. If he would have attacked, he would have never had the opportunity to kill them both. Because he didn't, he gets 2 for 1 tier.
We can't see the sick smile on Calcano's face here, is he?
Yeah.
You have to untap your guys there, right? Yeah.
Look, BDM, you're already playing better than a Hall of Famer.
Sitting on Nimbus Naiad.
So if he
doesn't want to play just a 2-drop flyer there. He wants to make one of these guys go up and over.
And that makes sense because you have the Spire Spine in play. With a 4-1 in play, I want to Nimbus Naiad that and make a 6-power flyer.
Yeah.
Which is another card that should have lent Jelger to attacking, because if he had drawn a land, he could have untapped and Nimbus Naiad it.
Right. And there we see the Hubris.
Yeah.
And that's going to bounce the Whitewater Naiads.
Yeah, and we see how Thassa, it's letting him scry, but that's not that impactful. If Thassa had been a 3-mana 3-2 this game,
sure.
It might have been able to block.
Just compare it to Spire Spine, which came down as a 3-drop.
Yeah, Calc had a lot of tricks, but, the same tricks would have dealt with the same cards. Yeah. So, if Thassa had just been able to block on turn 3, this game might be winnable for Jelger. As it is, it looks like it's going to be very hard for Jelger to stabilize here. So Thassa actively losing a game, let's say, that a 3-mana 3-2 might have won. I'm not saying Jelger would have won, but would have been a lot better. Now, don't get me wrong. There are games Thassa wins that a 3-mana 3-2 does nothing in. If, your opponent's
they're not games where you have 4 mountains in play generally, though, right?
No, but even, if your opponent stalemates the game and then you're using Thassa's unblockable or you're using its scry to build long-term advantage, Thassa doesn't die to removal. If your opponent's a removal-heavy deck and you're sitting here scrying lands to the bottom and you're running him out of removal, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Thassa has the potential to be a very powerful game-winning card. I just think people, when they see these cards like Thassa, they don't realize that there are a lot of games where it's actively bad that counteract the games where it's very good and make it overall good but not amazing.
Right. There you see Calcano not using that Nimbus Naiads. You know, Yelger had a lot of untapped mana, and of course did have a trick, did have the hubris.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you have, in fact, even more so expect that he has a trick since he's been scrying since turn 3.
Calc playing around it, and he knew that too because the Whitewater Naiads.
Right.
Now that Yelger's all but tapped out, we'll probably see that Nimbus Naiad.
Yeah, and that is scoopage from Yelger Vigashma.
A well-played game by Calcano. A small mistake by Yelger. I don't know if he would have been able to stabilize.
Right, Calcano was tapped out there, so there's like nothing he could have done.
He had 2 open, I think.
Okay.
Because he played the Crypsis on his turn or something like that. But yeah, if Yelger sends the 1 Flurry of the Horns token, I mean, either Calc has to hubris it or block and Triton Tactics it, but then the other Flurry of the Horn token's still there to trade on his turn.
Sure.
So, I mean, Calkatsu, sorry.
So you're going to have a couple weeks off, and then you're going to be heading to Vegas to prepare for this event here.
Yeah.
Right? You're working with Team Channel Fireball for Magic Pro Tour 2015, August 1st through 3rd in Portland, Oregon. Standard. With
Last Pro Tour of the season.
Last Pro Tour of the season. Magic 2015 is going to have some impact on Standard. New booster draft format. How do you feel about drafting core set, doing core set booster draft?
I'm kind of biased right now because M14 is one of my favorite formats of the past 5 years.
Okay.
So I'm kind of biased, you know. If it's going to be like M15, I'm looking forward to it.
And, of course, we'll be bringing you all the coverage of that from round 1 through the last round of the top 8 through to the award ceremony. Award ceremony will be a big deal because we're going to actually have a lot of hardware to give out at the end of the year. Player of the Year, Rookie of the Year, and, we're going to announce all those World Championship seats, one of which you're hoping has your name on it. Clinging
to the next to last seat or so right now.
When they showed that other thing, I think Hayne had the last seat. You were right behind him.
I saw that, and McLean was right above me. I believe that they may have messed up the tiebreaker, or I may have messed it up. I'm not really sure. Unless McLean got a point. Did he get a point last week or something like that?
I'm not sure. I haven't looked at last week's standings.
Yeah, to my knowledge, me, Hayne, McLean, and Fennell were all tied on 44. And the first tiebreaker is Pro Tour top 8, so that put Fennell as the first person in. The second one was GP top 8, which I have 4, so that put me as the second. Hayne has 3, and so that put him as third.
McLean has 2, then so Canada. Fourth. Is the tiebreakers?
That's what I thought. Florida over Canada. But I could definitely be wrong, or I could be right, but McLean may have just picked up a point last week or something like that.
Yeah, quite possible. Here we see a little major surgery by Yelger Vigashma on his deck. It looks like he's taken out his all his blue cards. I wonder what he's bringing in. But he's got a stack. He's doing some major work. How often does this happen at a Grand Prix level from the top players where you build a deck, you realize maybe, I could have done something different?
I mean, it happens a lot. It's not that uncommon that you even just, based on what you saw, sometimes you have 1 good color and 2 close colors, so based on the exact deck you saw you're up against, you think, oh, I'd rather have this other color, because the cards offer a little bit different, interactions. The weird thing here to me is that Yelger doesn't already have this other color sleeved, because it's already round 6. So I'm thinking maybe he doesn't board that in automatically, maybe he just doesn't feel like his blue is effective against Calc's deck.
It looks like he's going very aggro. It looks like he's going to a white-red deck. I saw a Loyal Pegasus.
I mean, if Yelger does already know he's going to do this most of the time, he should have those cards sleeved to save some time.
Yeah, it kind of makes me feel like this is not something he's been doing every round.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah. And how I mean, do you think about that between each game? Are you thinking should I be switching a color? Is there you have your sort of other cards colors sort of sorted in your head as to where they might be good?
It varies. I mean, there are times you open 3 bad colors and 2 really good colors, and you can't possibly switch a color. Yeah. There are other times it's very common you open 1 very good color and 2 okay colors and 2 bad colors, and I'll play. Let's say white was my good color. I'll play white-blue in half my rounds and white-green in half my rounds. And then every single every game, every card I see, I'm thinking, would I rather have the blue or the green against us,
Right. Is that an essential skill to doing well at like these large limited Grand Prix?
Some of the times I've had really bad seals but done well. I've played all different color configurations, like round after round. You know, obviously you have to play the same one game one, but then sometimes I boarded a white-blue deck into a red-green deck for game two, you know? I see that they have way better stuff than me, but I happen to have answers to flyers in green, let's say in my sideboard, shredded wings or whatever. I have 2 of them, and then I notice their bombs are flyers, and most of their cards are flyers. And I'm like, oh, wow, well, you know what? With these 2 shredded wings, my green is going to give me the best chance to win, you know?
How many sleeves do you need, Ben? 120?
I've done it. I've done it. GP Boston, not recently in 2009. That's one of the ones I'm most proud of. I got second. Yeah, my sealed was not good. I 9-0'd with it, so it's probably posted. And
it was a non-rare. I think it was like a no rare seal, right? If I remember.
Yeah, I didn't have any good rares. I had okay rare. I think I had Cemetery Reaper.
Okay. Oh,
but
yeah.
But I mean, like, it was a really, really mediocre deck.
And there Yelger reveals the switcheroo.
Yeah.
He leads off with a Loyal Pegasus on turn 1.
Calc's like, what am I going to see here?
Nothing on turn 2. Much slower start than we saw last game. There's the Spire Spine. Did a lot of work for Calcano.
It's a nice
lot
card.
Of value out of it.
It's a nice card. A 3-mana 4/1. Very minor drawback. The upside of being able to bestow it. I mean, 4 is a lot of power, so if your opponent taps out and you're able to bestow that and make a profitable attack, they're often taking 7-8 damage that turn. I mean, it's a great card. It's not amazing, but it's good. You know, it's a card I'm always happy with.
Gets in for 4, and Coastline Chimera comes down. Super defensive creature.
Yeah, kind of interesting.
Supply line Cranes reinforces itself here.
There was a lot of debate in our last Pro Tour testing. People originally saw Supply Line Cranes and just couldn't help themselves because some unnamed members of my playtest group are big fans of 5-drops. But eventually some of the more reasonable minds got them to take the earlier drops. And what highlighted the debate was Sigiled Skink, because you look at that guy and he looks so unimpressive. But really, you know, he's a 2-mana 2/1, but he also, like, scry 1 out of a beatdown deck is almost like draw half a card.
Right.
Because anytime you see a land and put it at the bottom, if you have 3 or 4 lands, it's drawing a card, and if you don't have 3 or 4 lands, then it's putting spells at the bottom, finding your 3rd or 4th land. So eventually, I think most people were convinced to take the Skink over the Supply Line Cranes, but that wasn't an easy sell at first.
I know Frank Karsten, you know, was talking about how he liked, like, the 3/1 Swiftblade over Supply Line Cranes.
I agree with that, too, yeah. I don't even really like Supply Line Cranes in draft. Sealed's a little bit slower, whatever. I mean, I'll play it, but
so Bizarre Tower Archers joins the team for Calcano. Then we get a Necroan Mastiff. Oh, hi. We got a reader.
Kill me or you lose.
This is probably the primary
the Hydra
card that's going to make Calcano want to be green.
Yeah, the Hydra Broodmaster is monstrosity, make a bunch of guys.
Yep.
Even just for 7, I think you get 3 3/3s or something.
3 3/3s, yes.
So
it's like X, it's green XX.
Yeah.
And then you put X, creatures into play. With XX power and toughness. Yeah.
So basically, and it's monstrosity, right? Like it grows also.
Oh yeah.
So I mean, pretty much, if you can't kill it, I mean, it's just gonna be game.
I think Calcano's got that 7th land.
It's interesting because Calc's under no pressure, so you wonder if he could wait till 9 if he has more lands in play and more things to do.
And he can make 4 4/4s?
Yeah, I mean, I doubt Yelger's going to be able to beat the Giant Broodmaster plus the 3/3s, but under no pressure, you're not really forced to do it, you know what I mean?
Right. The Broodmaster gets tapped.
And, like, there's no reason to rush things. If I'm Calc, I might wait here.
And Eternity Snare on the Necroan Mastiff.
Yeah, I like this because...
I've seen a lot of that card. I mean, well, a lot. I've seen it twice, but that feels like a lot.
It's more of a sealed deck card than a draft card. It's not a great card, but it's playable and sealed.
Right.
And I like Calc waiting here because with the Snare, he's drawing cards. He's most likely going to have more land drops. And I don't know that there's a single card White-Red could really play that could kill that.
I can't even imagine.
I mean, he's not going to attack with it to let it get Divine Verdict. I think he already has...
Triton Tactics?
Triton Tactics in hand, so there's no way it's going to get killed by red removal. There is Reprisal, but that's an uncommon and we haven't seen it yet.
Right.
So maybe we're getting, and it would have already been used if he had
yeah,
it.
he would have slammed that down as quickly as
So
he
worst
could.
case scenario, we're giving Yelger like 2 turns to top deck an uncommon that we don't even know if is in his pool. And, you know, 4/4/4s is a lot more powerful than 3/3/3s. So I don't think, you know, these are the type of games I see all the time where someone makes 3/3/3s and then loses like the closest game where their opponent grinds it out. By waiting and making 4/4/4s, he's just going to completely ice this game.
That's land 8.
I don't think there'll be any reason to wait past that, though. Even if he has 2 more land in hand, I don't think I would wait to make 5/5/5s. That seems completely unnecessary. I think we'll see on Calc's next main phase, he'll tap his 9 mana, make the 4/4/4s, and then attack with the huge Broodmaster. Because you're not worried about it dying after it's made its 4/4/4s.
No, absolutely.
But you don't want it to die beforehand. So if I'm Calc, I'm pretty sure my next main phase, I'm going to play the land and make it.
It's kind of interesting because if Yelger's blue here and has any untapped blue mana, you're so scared of dumping all that mana into the Broodmaster, into the Hydra.
In some cases you are, and I'm not saying he would necessarily just do it main phase right now, but Calc's he's under no pressure. He's taking 0 damage, so he's not really afraid, you know?
Yeah.
So he didn't do it main phase, which is weird to me because it lets him attack with the Broodmaster. I don't know why he's waiting. I mean, I guess you can do it end of turn, but the only reason...
I guess he wants that big swarm attack. He wants to get in with
but is there like really a Wrath effect? Because the only one I can think of is Fated Retribution.
And that's an instant.
And that's an instant. So I don't think it's correct here to wait till end of turn. I don't think it matters much. I think this is going to be more than enough to win the game, and I actively like that Calc waited till 9 to make 4/4/4s. I just think he could have probably done it on his main phase and then attacked with the Broodmaster.
Sure.
Because, I mean, why miss an attack with a 10/10 there, you know what I mean? And he actually just gave Yelger an extra turn to draw Reprisal or something.
Right.
So, I mean, I'm pretty sure if I'm Calc, I'm just main phase, land 9, make 4/4/4s, attack with my Broodmaster. But, you know.
Glimpse the Sun God.
Well, buy some time, but, you know, we know Calc's holding Triton tactics, and we know Calc's at 20.
Right.
So I really don't think this is going to do it. This is just...
Taps his Nyxborn.
Yeah. And Scry, I mean, maybe Yelger has Fated Retribution.
Right.
I don't know.
Let's see.
Oh, don't look at me.
All right, don't look. I won't look. I won't look.
It's nice to look sometimes and see what tricks they have and stuff. Yeah.
Okay.
But, like, don't ruin the only suspense we really have here, right?
Yeah. It's bad enough we have to deal with Courser Crewfix all the time.
Yeah. I mean, I can't see Calc losing this game without a Wrath effect or something. That's 4 4/4s in play, along with the other creatures and the Broodmaster, which is now 11/11 or something. Huge. I don't even know.
So Calcano's going to pass. Just content to play Golden Hind.
Yeah, I mean, Yelger's, you know, making a 3/1 here. He's kind of fighting the good fight, which is why I'm glad for Calc he didn't make the 3/3/3s. Because even though Calc would have probably won with the Triton tactics, it would have been really close, you know?
Yeah.
Or it could have been if Yelger had some things. 4 4/4s, I think this is going to do it, you know what I mean? Once Calc starts attacking here, I think Yelger's board is going to disintegrate pretty fast.
Satyr Nyxsmith makes a token. Maybe he drew a Resco Sun Guide there.
Not what you need when your opponent has out 4, 8, 12, 16, 27. Hold on, my math's not that good. 28, 30, 34, what, 36 power on the board?
36 power and about 40 toughness.
Yeah. And
with the Triton tactics.
Right, when you do make your double blocks and chump block and try and do the best thing you can, you're just going to get blown out by Triton tactics that you can't possibly play around because you're facing 36 power on the board.
Yeah, not the opportunity to go, I'll take it.
Right.
You can't do it. So Fall of the Hammer.
So the interesting part of this is that this is Yelger's turn. So this means Yelger might be thinking about an attack.
So, okay, so Fall are these two, and then triggers the tapping.
So he's using the Elite Skirmisher to tap something and to kill something.
And he could do that on Calc's turn. Obviously, he can't win this game playing defensive, so I'm not saying this play is wrong. I just don't know how he could really survive.
Calcano's going to use Triton Tactics to save his guy and to untap his flyer.
And I don't really like that play because if I'm Calc and he's doing that now, I assume he's doing that so he can attack. So I would let him do that and attack, and then I would use it and then ambush the guys. But kind of moot. I don't think that Calc can lose this game. I don't think if that resolved and Calc didn't have Triton Tactics, he could lose this game. So, I mean, I'm not going to beat him up. Yeah.
Yelger's like, I have done the math.
Right, yeah, like, I don't know if Yelger was just kind of going through the motions there, you know. Yeah. I know a lot of players, you know, you're in the mindset. It's not that you won't concede, it's that, like, you're not thinking about conceding. You're thinking, like, how can I win? Let me start move down that path.
What will my opponent do?
Yeah.